Hi, freshmen. It is now day 3 of my quarantine from school. As you can see, I'm not there again today. I called the health department yesterday and they said, well, hopefully we'll have your test results tomorrow. So, I'm getting a little tired and frustrated. I miss being in the classroom with you guys. And I'm getting sick of being stuck at home. So, hopefully we get my test results back today so that I can find out whether or not I can be back with you guys tomorrow. That's my goal, is to at least come in Friday before the weekend here. All right. So today, for your Google Classroom assignment, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're taking a step back from our vocab for a little bit and zooming back in on some reading comprehension and analysis here. So for your activity today, you're going to be working with a partner, meaning one other person, unless you're in an odd classroom. So, like if you have an odd number of people, there's going to be one group of 3, but everyone else should be with a single partner. Um, so, for this assignment today, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going through the most dangerous game. So, hopefully, you have your literature book with you today, like Mr. Hull hopefully reminded you. Because you're going to be going through your literature book today, going through the text, and your goal with your partner is to engage in a really close reading of the text with a focus on finding descriptions of different parts of the island. Um, so you can look for like direct quotes from the text, as you can see like right here for the first blank. It says page numbers, so page numbers in the textbook where you're finding these things, direct quotes and or summaries, and then the ship trap island feature that you're trying to like very closely find reading clues about that feature. So right here it says landing spot. So there's going to be on here several different features of Ship Trap Island, things that happened on the island, his different traps, major land features, or things like the chateau that you are trying to figure out, okay, if I were to have to draw a map of this island and the things that happen on the island, what would be the most accurate depiction of Ship Trap Island? And doing these close reading exercises is what's going to help you kind of figure out, okay, here's where he probably landed on the island. So his landing spot, where might he have washed ashore? Think about what the shore looked like. Consider what you know about the direction of the gunshots he heard from the yacht and what direction he had to swim in, right? Because that's going to help you figure out, okay, like what part of the island perhaps was the landing spot on. Then you've got other features like Rainsford walking toward the chateau. You're going to have to do a trail of where he goes on the whole island. So what direction maybe does he walk toward the chateau? What part of the island does he walk on? Does he go straight into the forest or does he stay on the beach? Then you got like chateau descriptions, so like where might it be physically located based on the character's interactions with it. The channel that General Zaroff uses to trick ships into running ashore. What might that look like? Where might that be located in reference to the island? You got things like Death Swamp. It's very, very clear in the text about where geographically Death Swamp should be on a map if you're looking at the island. Death Swamp is going to kind of be a good key for you to figure out everything else, because if you can figure out where Death Swamp is supposed to be on your map, it'll help you kind of backtrack and follow Rainsford's trail and all the different traps and things that he sets. And then again, the ending. So following Death Swamp is going to be really important, making sure that you know where that is. And you can kind of figure out the other features in relationship to that. Then you've got, okay, key things that happen. The tree that Rainsford sleeps in, the Malay man catcher, the Burmese tiger pit, the knife trap, the cliff and the cove from which Rainsford jumps is going to be really helpful, not only because it's going to be at a specific place on the island, but also because it's going to meaningfully change the outline of your island, right? If it's a cove, it's going to mess with the way that you design the shape of your island. So making sure that you know that and where that might be is going to be very helpful. and then Rainsford's trail through the island as he runs from generals are off. So you'll want to make sure that you know where he goes or about where you think he would be based on the descriptions in the story. So again, you're putting page numbers for where you find these things, and then you're going to put like direct quotes that relate to that feature or summaries of things that happen that relate to that feature. You want to get as much detail as possible for those different features so that when you're making your map, it's kind of clear to you how this is supposed to look. All right, so you'll be working on that with a partner. I'm going to give you today and then tomorrow to work on this, because basically this is going to require that you reread the story with a different focus instead of just reading this time with a focus on characterization, with a focus on theme and all those things and plot and all that stuff. Instead, now you're focusing with an eye towards the island and what's happening on the island and how it might be designed. So it's a little bit different. It's going to require you to reread the story, and I want to make sure that you have enough time to do that. I gave you some things, like it says, other items to consider that will help in your map making venture, some questions that might kind of help you figure things out. And then I also, on the next page here, give you an example of just like what a map could look like. Now, this is not a map of Ship Trap Island. It is just a random map image. But it can kind of show you when you guys are making a map, which you're not doing yet, but you want to kind of think about as you're finding these features, okay, if I were to make a map right now, how is this going to affect the map that I do create? You can see on here that you've got a key that helps you kind of figure stuff out. You're going to need a key because you're going to have like specific traps that you might have symbols for on the island. They note things like the beach by giving a different texture and color. You can see that there's a trail in red that they've done. You will have a trail on your island from Rainsford. So this is just a good example of what kind of could I shoot for if I'm making a map. Is this the map that you're going to end up making? No, it's probably not going to look anything like that one. But it does give you an idea of kind of like what you're shooting for there when you do make a map. So that is the only assignment after your guys' 10 minutes of independent reading time that you're going to be working on today. I did get some questions yesterday. I want to make sure I talk about that, about the independent reading time, because I had some questions about whether or not you're going to have a writing journal due tomorrow. If you guys look at the front of your independent reading packet, you'll notice that I said no. There was never intending to be a journal due this Friday. This was your week off. So your next writing journal is not going to be due till next Friday. So if you just want to, during your 10 minutes of independent reading time, focus on reading your independent reading book, you're welcome to do that, because you've still got a good week and a day before you have that next journal due. All right, so that is the only assignment for today that we're working on, the only new thing that you have. One thing I do want to note is I would say maybe like, not quite a third, but close to a third of all of my pre-AP students in each class period are missing some of Tuesdays and Wednesdays assignments on Google Classroom. If that is you, which is a high probability because it's a lot of students, you need to make sure that you're working on catching up on those assignments and getting them turned in on Google Classroom, because I have a lot of you guys who still need to finish those. And if you have questions, just send me those questions because I can help you. All right. Then we've got at the bottom here some important notes about house points. So I'm still going to give you the 10 house points if you put your Chromebooks back the exact way that they're supposed to be from other classes after you. Mr. Hull's been checking those and making sure that you're doing them correctly. The class that receives the best behavior report from Mr. Hull is still going to get 20 house points. Now, I will say, for the second day yesterday, Mr. Hull said, you were all the best class because you were all being really well behaved, which is a good thing. I mean, that's awesome that you are. But that means I didn't get to pick a specific class to give the 20 points to, and I had to split it up amongst all 6 of you again. So because you're just being all so well behaved, when it says at the bottom here, or what it says at the bottom here, is that there's another sneaky way for you guys to earn some house points today. So on your assignment, the sheet that I just showed you, there's some sneaky hidden links that will take you to Google Form questions that you can answer in order to earn an additional 2 house points for your class. I'm not telling you how many sneaky secret links. But on this assignment, there's some sneaky links on here that if you're really like combing the document and paying attention, you might be able to find. So I would highly suggest today when you guys are going through your assignment, really like just just pay attention. There's some hidden stuff on there um, that'll help you find those extra house points that you can earn. Now, when you go to those questions, you have to answer them correctly in order to get the house points, but there are some hidden questions on there for you to click on some links and earn some extra house points. Okay, I've talked a lot, but today, after you guys finish with your partner work, you really need to make sure, especially since I'm not there to check it, when you finish with your partner work, Mr. Hull's going to stop you guys with about 3 minutes left in the period. But you've got to make sure that those desks get moved back where they're supposed to be, because I won't be there to check on them. So when you move your desk to work with your partner today, you really got to pay attention to, okay, where did I take this desk from? And then when you go to move them back, check I know they're fading, but check the paint lines on the floor and make sure that you get your desk back distance the way that they're supposed to be before you walk out of the classroom today. All right. That's all I got for you guys. If you have questions on the assignments, make sure you're sending me an email, sending me a message on Google Classroom, and I will respond as quickly as I can. All right. Hopefully I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. I'll see ya. Have a good Thursday.